Hey guys, Vazzy back here. It is time for episode 13 of our Pittsburgh Penguins franchise mode here in NHL 25. We will be finishing off the second half of the 27-28 NHL season. And this is a big one because we have been severely underperforming. Guys are starting to drop off. Crosby there in 84 now. Malkin, Henrique. And there's just been a lot of guys that have been underperforming. Max Domi ended up having to trade away Rucker McGroarty. Defensively too, Letang is getting up there in age. He's dropping in overall, and yeah, goaltending has been inconsistent. Ivankovic has been better, but yeah, I don't know. Ilian too. I think we should give him one more chance in this lineup before we look to maybe make a move. Like Domi, minus 12, 40 games. I think his time is probably over unless of injury. Let's give Ilian his chance here. See if he can play better whatsoever. Callahan, you can take face-offs, so you probably will. Henrique, you can stay there with Savoie. And honestly, I don't know. Let's look at his game logs here. Like, was it his last games there? Actually, no. Only -1. So, yeah, we'll definitely keep eyes on him and his progress. So, there's only one thing to do. Let's just keep going. Let's get this second half done. This will be the last dance for this team in the playoffs if we can make it. So first game here, Colorado, 2-0 Penguins, Lindgren and Martone. 4-0 after 2, Koivunen and McCann. And in the third, 6-1, Pomarov and Savoie. So that is a huge win there in game number 1, 6-1. Just haven't been scoring goals, so that is a very good change of pace. Let's go switch the goalies here as we go and lead up to the Detroit Red Wings game. See if we can make it back-to-back wins to start today's episode. So Red Wings on the road, not the best team, need a big win here, 2 points, 7-4 win, let's go. So back-to-back games of some good goal scoring, see if we can keep it up here. Divisional rival, good team here in the Hurricanes. That will be a 3-1 loss, so exact opposite. Let's rebound here against the Vancouver Canucks at home. Back-to-back 3-1 losses, so 2-2 to start the episode. Calgary Flames here are up next, another home game for us. And there we go, that is a 6-3 win. So another back-to-back, let's go switch out the goalies here real quick. And let's, I think for the most part, get back to it. Is there anything else we want to do while we're here? Callahan, no, I think we're probably fine, at least for now. So Utah Hockey Club up next, that's a big 3-1 win. Very, very good Boston Bruins team up next, 35-12-3. They have Korpisalo in the net. We do lose 4-3 in regulation. So, need to start picking up some of these wins here. Come on, guys. We're just playing very 500 hockey here. Anaheim Ducks in Anaheim. That will be a 4-2 or 4-3 win there, sorry. Vancouver Canucks on the road up next. 4-3 loss in the shootout. At least we will get the point. And do have a back-to-back coming up here. Let's get Ivankovic back in the net. Scratch players. Is there any changes we want to do here? Ilian, how's he been? He's actually been a +3. Put up some points. Savoie's been just outrageously bad. Might look to move off him coming up. Letang's actually been better. Pickering, ooh, -11. You've fallen off. Let's get Graves in there. We'll give him one more chance here to kind of turn his season around. He had a rough start as well. Let's just continue on. Small changes. Vegas Golden Knights, 4-2 win. Nashville Predators are up next, followed by the Edmonton Oilers. We're on a bit of a road trip here before we go home. 3-1 win. Edmonton Oilers actually are home next. Can we get another big win against the Oilers? It's a 5-1 loss. Chicago Blackhawks, once again, another West team. Can we get a win? 3-1 loss. And looks like the final West team, at least, before we play Columbus. Another game at home. Can we pull out a win against the Predators? And it's a 7-2 loss. So all the good progress we've made, we are just absolutely giving it right back. Sitting 27-24-4 against the Jackets. That's a 3-0 shutout. And yeah, let's switch out the goalies. We will be playing the Dallas Stars up next in the second half of this back-to-back. Blomqvist, you'll go back in. Okay, so we need to make some changes here. Martone, We go up. Callahan's actually done pretty good for a rookie season. Do I want to move him up? Hagel. McCann can play center then. Ilian can go on the wing. Honestly, that might work out a little bit better for us like that. Koivunen can come up, and then I think we're good to just continue on. So Dallas Stars up next. They are a good team this year. It's a 3-2 win against the Stars. Vegas Golden Knights coming up. They're a team that looks like they're fighting for a playoff spot in their own right. So 4-2 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. Another divisional matchup in the New Jersey Devils. This is a very important game. Can we beat the Devils? That's a 3-2 loss in regulation. Okay, so back-to-back with the St. Louis Blues kicking it off here. We will play the Hurricanes, and then it looks like the deadline is actually right there. Against the Blues, that's a 6-3 win. The Carolina Hurricanes up next. We'll switch the goalies here quick. Back-to-back, see if we can pull out 2 in a row here. Going to goalies, Ivankovic, you can get the start. Blomqvist, you can go back on the bench. Continue on. Carolina Hurricanes in Carolina. 3-1 win. Okay, so where do we sit here in regard to a playoff spot, sitting 30, 27, and 4? We are right there. We are 1 point back of the Devils for the final spot in our division. 64 points. If we go over to the Atlantic, 64 points will get you in. So we're right there. We're right on that line. We're tied for a playoff spot. I think we have to push for it here, but I think we need to make some major changes. So going to forwards, McCann, Martone, Crosby have done good. Hagel, how have you been recently? 30 points, 41 games. Love it. You've been great. Callahan, you've been good. Ilian, he's been really good. Queso Savoie, he is going to have to go. I know we just signed him, 24 years of age. It hasn't worked out here. I think he's going to be one of those guys that moves here at the deadline. Outside of that, Domi, I think we're definitely going to look to find a hockey trade with him as well. And then Graves, we could probably use one more defenseman. Goaltending, again, I think we're probably fine. You know, they've been okay. I don't think it's really needed, at least, of an upgrade in that department. I think we just probably play better if we had a better team in front of us. So, Florida Panthers here, we won't actually see the result of this game before we get loaded into the trade deadline. So keep the current trade block. This is it. This is our last chance. This could be the last playoffs you guys see in a long time. Let's push for it. We're Runsky on the trade block. Uyghur, Pesci, Pollock. Some good players on the block. Again, I just need to find some hockey trades to make here. So I'm going to do some exploring and I will see what I can find. Okay, so first deal here today. Giving up Max Domi. It hasn't been a fit. I thought bringing him in for a third line guy would be good. I know it's limited ice time, but it hasn't worked out for him, and he's been scratched a lot. Also sending Chubarov here, former third round pick of ours, in exchange for Trevor Moore. He's had a very, very solid season, pending UFA, but he's a guy that can play in that middle six, and I think be pretty effective. Calgary, what do you say? Trade rejected. What can we add on here? Can I add like a 7th rounder or something? Pittsburgh 7th. What do you say now, Calgary? Trade accepted. So I can already tell this is going to be the more controversial one. Sending Matthew Savoie to the Minnesota Wild. Again, we just signed him. He's had his ups. He's had his downs. I really thought he was going to be that solid, really, really good second line center for a long time. Just hasn't worked out. I think he needs a change of scenery. In exchange, we will be trying to get Marco Rossi. He is a little bit older, still high top 6, and has been a little bit more consistent in his role. Even if we are selling and aren't a great team next year, he's an asset we can hold on to and should have value, as well as a 5th round pick. Minnesota, what do you say to this trade? Trade rejected. Can we just try taking off the pick? 1-for-1 hockey trade. Trade accepted. So I have one more move I want to make, and I think that's gonna be it. And I think this is going to be the last move I make, last planned move I make. Trying to get Gavrikov from Detroit. Detroit is a selling team. You know, not that he's amazing, but we need a change on the defense. What we have, Graves, has not worked out here this year. I think it's probably time to move on from him and his $4.5 million. Along with this low league prospect, again, he's actually doing not bad, but at 21 years of age, does he grow? Maybe, maybe not. It's a project for Detroit. Red Wings, what do you say? Trade rejected once again. I want to take the salary on. So can I add... Do I really want to add another draft pick here? Is that going to get it over the edge? Like a 7th round pick from Utah? Detroit, still trade rejected. Can I retain like $1 million? Again, we're going to have the cap space next year. It's no issue. Trade rejected again. You know, I'll go 50%. It's $2.25 million. We'll have a lot of money next summer. Trade accepted. So I think that's going to be it here for my trades. I'll catch up with you guys at the end of the trade deadline. Okay, so the deadline is passed. The roster is finalized. So I'll scroll through everything here quick for you guys if you're interested of other moving pieces around the NHL. I don't know if this team is going to be good enough to make it. We're a very fringe team, but we owe it to Crosby. We owe it to Malkin. We owe it to Letang. One more chance, one more run. One unfortunate change I had to make is moving Crosby down to the third line. He's dropped down to 82 now. I think that's going to kind of be bogging down the sim if he's a first-line center. Have him playing with Malkin potentially for the last time ever. Have one more run together. I don't know. We'll have to see. Defensively, Gabrikov will slot in there on that bottom pair. Goaltending will be Ivankovic, Blomqvist. We'll go back and forth. And then Pickering will be scratched with Ponomarev and Jari. So like I said, this is it. Do the guys want to win? Do we want one more chance at a Stanley Cup? Boston Bruins up first. Let's start the post-trade deadline with a bang. First period, 1-0. Lillberg gets one for us. 4 goals for Boston in the second, and 5 goals for Boston as they win 5-1. So definitely not the best start. Let's just continue on here. One game at a time. There's still like 20 games to go, and we're right in the thick of things. Florida Panthers in Florida. It's a 5-3 loss. Buffalo Sabres are a team that I know we were tied for at 64 points at one point. So let's swap out the goalies. Blomqvist, you can go back in there for now. So this will be an important team to beat as we're fighting for a wild card. And we lose 7-2. So 0-3 after the deadline. Back-to-back games against the Rangers here. Rangers are, a fringe team right now. First game, that's a 4-2 win. First win post-deadline. Adam Beckman, that's in the AHL. Another game here against the New York Rangers. Ryan Lindgren goes down. That's not great. Pickering, you can go back in. It's a 4-1 win, so back-to-back wins against the divisional team that maybe we're fighting with. Look like they're a little bit below us, so not too sure at the moment. Ivankovic, you can go back in since it is a back-to-back. Washington Capitals up next here. It's a 4-2 loss to the Caps. That's a tough one. Ivankovic hasn't been as good the second half. He's been losing a lot more of his starts, unfortunately. He had a great first half. Like, he is now 14-11. He was like 8-2 coming into the episode. I can't even really see here. Yeah, it's stupid. You can't see losses in the last 10 or game logs. Okay, so Blomqvist, you're going to be probably our starter here down the stretch, at least, unless something crazy happens. Against the Philadelphia Flyers, divisional rival, need to win these games. And bang, there we go, 9-2 win. That is a real statement. Come on, we need to continue on winning here. St. Louis Blues up next in St. Louis. It's a 2-0 shutout, cannot score any goals. So Bear Clayson, we do want to get him back into the lineup here. He's a better prospect. We'll wait for now. Islanders, 4-2 win. There we go. So Chicago Blackhawks up next. Let's just go and get that guy in for the AHL here quickly. He is like our only good defensive prospect at the moment. Bear Clayson, 74, medium top 4 defensive prospect. Let's go take a look at how our additions are doing at the NHL level. So Rossi, 9 games, 6 points. He's a positive player. Okay, it's a good start. Going over to Trevor Moore here. 9 games, 7 points. Even better, that's good. Going to the defensive side of things, Gabrikov. 9 games, 1 assist, but he's a plus player. So 3 trades that seemingly right now have played a good positive influence on our team. See if we can continue. Chicago Blackhawks, 4-2 win. Looks like we have a couple of days off, 4 days off before we face the Jackets. Jackets are a team that are struggling, will not be making the playoffs. We need to take advantage of these teams. Currently, looks like we're tied, but we are just outside of a wild card spot. Against the Jackets, we lose in regulation. Those are just the games that good teams win. You just cannot lose those games. Okay, Ivankovic, you're going back in. Blomqvist has done alright, but there's time to switch it up. Against the Toronto Maple Leafs, 5-2 win. Detroit Red Wings are up next, a team, again, that will not be making the playoffs. Need to take advantage, get these points. Win in the shootout, that's 2 points for us. Tampa Bay Lightning, same thing. Team that looks like they're on the outside looking in. Need to win right now. As Adam Beckman, that is in the AHL. It's a 5-2 loss. Washington Capitals. So this is a team, we're actually tied with them. This is a massive, massive game against the Capitals. We are tied for them with points, and it looks like we're both just outside the wild card. First period, 1-0 Tom Wilson. Second period, still 1-0. And in the third, Caps will take it 2-0. That is a tough one right there. That's going to really, really hurt those chances as we lose the game and they get the 2 points. Okay, so we really have to win like all these games going out here. Against the Montreal Canadiens, it's a 4-2 loss. Let's get Ivankovic out. That's probably going to be his last game of the year. Again, goalies, it's hard to really say with that. Blomqvist, you'll go back in. Scratches again, I don't really want to change anything. Ivankovic's been good, but the second half, he has definitely been struggling compared to his first half, that's for sure. Against the Islanders, it's a loss in the shootout. We pick up the point. We're 1 point back still of a wildcard spot. The Habs have a spot. The Capitals have a spot. We're still right there. Come on. Another hugely important game against the Devils. Let's jump into it. New Jersey, Pittsburgh. Let's go in New Jersey. First period, 3-2 Penguins. Callahan, McCann, and Martone for us. Trevor Moore on the power play adds another one. And in the third, Chris Letang and Brandon Hagel. So huge 2 points there against the New Jersey Devils. Buffalo Sabres, another one of those teams. We're 2-0 against them on the season. They're right there in the thick of things. Sabres are 82 points. We're at 83. This is this is a massive game right here as well. All these games we have 2 games left on the season. We more or less have to win out or at least pick up 3 out of 4 points. Buffalo, 82 points. They are probably on the way out, but again, they have 4 games left. If they win here, that is huge for them. Come on, guys, let's pick up some points. Buffalo Sabres, Pittsburgh Penguins in Pittsburgh. Let's go. First period here, 2-1 Sabres. Novak and Bennett, Martone for us. 3-2 after 2, Gavrikov and Erik Karlsson. And 5-3 after 3, Martone and Malkin Brazeau for them. So that is a huge, huge, huge win here. So we have 3 days off, and we play the New York Islanders, who we've split the season series with. If we win, I say there's a very, very good chance of us being in. We are currently tied with 85 points with the Capitals. Sens have 86 and have a wild card spot. The Rangers have 84 and are right there. We just have to win this no matter what. Get these 2 points, and I think we might be okay. Come on. First period, 1-1 Rossi and Vetrano. After 2, it's 3-2 Yzerman, Backlund, Hagel for us. And there we go. Resume the simulation. Final game either way of today's episode. Controller is down. 3-3, Chris Letang ties up this game. Huge goal by our veteran defender. Come on, 5 minutes left. So our hero on this team, 2 minutes. 1 minute, we're going to overtime. In overtime, the New York Islanders will take it. Bo Horvath with the game winner. So I think that means that we are out. Wait, we have a check beside our... We tied with the Rangers? Oh, and since the Caps lost, we passed them with 86 points. Holy, so somehow we ended up making the playoffs by the skin of our teeth. 1 more regulation overtime win over the Rangers, who had 1 more win than us. Wow, that is insane. I was not expecting to make it with an overtime loss. Okay, so who are we facing in round one? Let's take a look at that, take a look at our season stats, and call it for today. We will be facing, in round number one, the 60-win Boston Bruins. So this should be a very, very interesting matchup. Before we look at them, let's go take a look at all our point scorers for this year. McCann leading the way, Martone, Crosby all did really, really good. Hagel, since coming over, 53.62 games, love it. Moore, what did you do? 12 points plus player, like it. Marco Rossi, 13 points, was a negative, but still did pretty good. And yeah, I don't know, Callahan had a good rookie season. Malkin definitely falling off there. Looking at the defensive side of things, Carlson leading the way, still putting up a ton of points. Gavrikov, what did you do? So you're even player, 20 games, 3 points. You know, that was a good addition, I think. And goaltending-wise, you know, the two guys were okay. They weren't great, they weren't studs, but they weren't, you know, horrible. Okay, so that's what we did this season. Let's go take a look here at the Boston Bruins. 60 wins. This is going to be a very, very tough first round matchup. Let's see. So they got Farabee, Lindholm, Pasternak. Interesting. So they still have even down there like a guy like Marchand who's dropping off. Letourneau, I actually tried to get him in a trade for Savoie, but it didn't really make as much sense. Going to the defense, nothing really changed here. Just a really solid top four. They added Pietrangelo. Still have Zadorov, and in the net, 91 Sway. Scratched or injured. No one injured. Lassell is scratched. But yeah, it's a very, very good Boston team. Going to be a very, very tough round one matchup for us. But I think that is going to do it for today's episode, finishing off the regular season in 2027-28. The last dance, the last ride. We will have one more playoff appearance in Pittsburgh. Might be the last one for a while. We'll have to see what happens. But that'll do it for this episode. I will see you all in the next one.